So a woman who said she was stalked by baby reindeer's real-life Martha, Fiona Harvey, fears that she will come for her again after the release of the Netflix show. And this is crazy because Fiona Harvey says she's not a stalker, but now we have one of her targets coming forward to prove that she's lying about those claims as well. So I'm Joseph Morris. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. So Laura Wray, the widow of former Labour MP Jimmy Wray, said she fears for her own safety after being targeted by the real-life Martha, Fiona Harvey. So Fiona went on to Piers Morgan to say that she is not a stalker and that the Netflix show was false, including her going to prison, which is highly defamatory, and she's considering suing Netflix. And this has led to a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because people are asking if Netflix did their duty of care in protecting the real-life Martha, Fiona Harvey, who is clearly maybe mentally unwell. I don't know. Please don't sue me. Because after the show, viewers went on a witch hunt to find the real-life Martha, and were able to track her down by simply searching on Twitter lines she said on the show. Like, it was super easy to find the real-life Martha from this Netflix show that was based on a true story and portrayed Martha doing really terrible things. So Fiona is getting bombarded and actually receiving calls talking about how she's going to be deleted. Fiona is also a lawyer like Martha on the show. In fact, the characters are extremely similar and all the details match up. So again, it was so easy to find the real life Martha, Fiona Harvey. And now Fiona is considering suing Netflix for defamation over her portrayal on the show. And honestly, it sounds like a slam dunk case. So Miss Wray has spoken out for the first time after her alleged stalker gave an explosive interview with Piers Morgan earlier this week. In an interview with The Mirror, the Scottish lawyer Wray said she had not thought about her stalker, Fiona Harvey, for years until seeing the interview. She said, quote, "I hadn't thought about her for years. I had forgotten so much of it. Every time someone says a comment, it triggers it again. Memories of things that she did, some of her actions. It's pretty distressing. Watching her last night on Piers Morgan's show, how did I manage to cope with that for so long? My partner and I are concerned about what she might do next. Is she going to come after me? She is posting things on Facebook telling lies about me. You don't know where it will end." End quote. After being sacked, Wray claims she was then targeted by Fiona, who was known at the time as Fiona Muir. Wray claimed Fiona bombarded her with phone calls, emails, and texts. I mean, just like she did in the show. Wray also claims that Fiona had reported her to social services over mistreatment of her child. Wray said, quote, "She made some bizarre statement that I was in my car driving and somehow managed to hit my son, who was sitting in the back of the car in the child seat. Eventually, it was all dropped, but that's when I went for an interim injunction. Thankfully, it worked. She didn't defend it. We never heard any more from her." End quote. The Daily Record reported that Wray served Fiona with an interim interdict to stop her from contacting the lawyer. Wray believes she features indirectly in the Netflix drama through a fictional newspaper headline reading, "Sick Stalker Targets Barrister's Deaf Child." The show Baby Reindeer has become one of the most watched Netflix shows of all time since it was released on April 11th. It sees Martha, played by Jessica Gunning, latching onto a struggling stand-up comedian called Donnie Dunn, played by Richard Gadd. Martha is eventually jailed. The show shows that Dunn's female stalker conducted a relentless stalking campaign, which started after he served her in a London pub while working as a bartender. Fiona has denied ever stalking Gadd, SAing him, or putting his paws on his girlfriend. Wray went on to say that she was shocked by the fact Netflix didn't attempt to hide the stalker's identity. She added, quote, "Even if she wasn't mentally ill, If you're doing a show billed as a true story where the people are still alive and might be harmed, there is a duty of care. But she seems so obviously mentally ill. They haven't done enough to protect her," end quote. She said the similarities between Martha and her stalker were striking and added, quote, "It was obvious to me and a lot of other people that she was my stalker. They made her a lawyer. That detail didn't have any bearing on the story. They could have made her a doctor or an accountant," end quote. Yeah, so it turns out Netflix literally went to Fiona Harvey's Twitter and copied and pasted tweets into the script. Like hating Chinese people was from her Twitter, and it was also ended up in the Netflix show. And all the sleuths had to did was search up the lines from the show on Twitter and find this woman who matched the exact details. Like it was almost like a targeted harassment campaign by Netflix. However, Fiona has disputed many of Wray's claims. Speaking on Piers Morgan Uncensored, she said she was headhunted by Wray and was not sacked from her law firm. She also claimed it was nonsense that Harvey had served her with an interdict as she not filed the paperwork properly. Harvey also described the show as a work of fiction. She claimed that she was prepared to go to a court of law to defend herself against her portrayal in the series. Harvey said she had instructed lawyers in part, but, quote, "We want to explore all the options out there. There are a number of people to sue," end quote. During the interview, Harvey also referenced a scene in the show where character Martha admits to intimidating Gad's character and receives a 9-month prison sentence. She said, quote, "That is completely untrue, very, very defamatory to me, very career damaging. I am not a stalker. I have not been to jail. I've not gotten injunctions. It is complete nonsense," end quote. So in a number of Facebook comments, this person named Kyle Muir claimed to be Fiona Harvey's nephew and said she spent 4 months in prison, confirming what the Netflix show said. However, this guy has since spoken out to reveal that this was not true. It was simply a joke that got out of hand.
Fiona Harvey, aka the real baby reindeer Martha, has just been exposed by her nephew. Of course, she appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where she categorically said that everything that happened in the show did not happen, and the one thing that she really stood by was that she never went to prison. Enter Carl Murr, who is Fiona Harvey's nephew, and he said that basically that's his auntie, and said that if you want all the details and the truth, speak to him. And people did. They asked him a lot of questions in the comment section, like, has she ever been to jail? For 4 months? Yes. Thank you for replying. So she's lying on the Piers Morgan show. 100% lies.
So at the end of Baby Reindeer, Martha is arrested and charged with stalking and goes to jail. But there is no evidence to suggest Harvey was ever convicted. And if it turns out that this is a lie, I think Netflix should actually be sued. I mean, you should be able to protect your reputation because it was so obvious who Martha was in the show. Anyway, guys, who do you think is lying? Sound off in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe by hitting my face here.